How will a registry of convicted drug dealers help cut back on spiking overdose deaths? The new tactic from Rensselaer County leaders.
Plus, saying goodbye to a longtime Albany public servant. Following the death of Matthew Peter, we speak with his fiancée about how his legacy will live on.
And social media, a toxic health risk for your kids. That's the diagnosis from New York City Mayor Eric Adams.
CBS 6 News starts now.
First here at 5, a man paralyzed from the chest down after an officer-involved shooting nearly 6 years ago in Albany, facing weapons charges, accused of giving a handgun to a 14-year-old who then shot and killed himself with it.
Elazar Williams was arrested today. Shocking details laid out in court documents. CBS 6's Brianna Sapardi just getting a hold of them. She is live for us now in Albany. Good evening, Bray.
Bree, thank you. And Albany County prosecutors chose not to pursue charges against Williams, who was initially charged with menacing an officer and weapons possession.
Williams is suing the officer who shot him back in 2018. That case is still making its way through the U.S. Court of Appeals. All right, get this. If you've been convicted of a drug-related crime in Rensselaer County, you will now have to put your name onto a registry, and you'll have to pay for it.
CBS 6's Emma Quinn has this all-new dose of reality report.
In 2023...
Take a look at this video. Dozens of migrant families with young children sleeping on the floor at the International Terminal of Boston's Logan Airport. The video, taken last week, our CBS News partners in Boston report a source saying Massachusetts State Police are being paid overtime to assist at Logan overnight. The state hit its capacity to assist 7,500 families in its emergency shelter system in November, so additional families are now being put on a wait list.
We need D.C. to act. We need Congress to act. The path is there in terms of what needs to be done to fix the border situation, to change some of the asylum processes, and to get much needed funding to interior states who have had to shoulder the burden for a problem that is geopolitical and is not the state's making.
The governor of Massachusetts asking state leaders for $250 million in the budget to address the crisis, expecting it to cost the state more than $900 million next year. Some of that money could come from a state surplus fund. Former President Donald Trump expanding his lead in the polls over President Biden in the rematch that many Americans say they don't want. The latest poll shows Trump leading Biden 40% to 34%. The rest don't know who they want to vote for. Roughly 67% of people say they're tired of seeing the same candidates in presidential elections and want someone new.
Well, the big news just keeps coming this week for horse racing fans. NYRA announcing ticket sale plans for the Belmont Stakes at Saratoga Racecourse.
A big twist for those familiar with the summer meet at Saratoga. No outside alcoholic beverages will be allowed. Tickets go on sale February 15th at 10 a.m. We have a link online at cbs6albany.com. The 156 Belmont Stakes, running for the first time at Saratoga Racecourse, starts Thursday, June 6th through Sunday the 9th. General admission costs differ by the day. Belmont Stakes Day on Saturday, June 8th will cost you $50 to get in. The lowest price days, Thursday and Sunday, are $10. A 4-day pass for $90 will save you $10.
All right, honoring the life of a longtime public servant and former Albany County legislator through education.
How some are trying to keep Matthew Peters' legacy alive.
And coming up in sports, UAlbany women's basketball in their biggest matchup of the season to date, what it will take for the Great Danes to push their winning streak to 13 games.
And I am tracking more rain. It's still a ways off, but it's making its move on us. I've got the latest timing on when to expect it, how much of Friday will be wet, and of course there's that storm later in the weekend that could produce some snowfall. My latest thinking on that coming up.
The Albany Wine and Dine for the Arts Festival kicks off today, and one of the people being honored over the course of the event is Matthew Peter.
The longtime public servant and former Albany County legislator died last month from heart complications. I spoke with his fiancée about the loss and some of the other ways that Matthew's legacy around the capital region will live on.
Just somebody who cared very deeply about every person that he met.
That's how Corinne McLeod describes her fiancé, Matthew Peter. The former Albany County legislator, first chief of staff for Albany Mayor Kathy Sheehan, and Albany Parking Authority executive director, dedicated his life to public service and to the city of Albany. So when he died last month at the age of 38 due to heart complications, it was a loss felt by Corinne and so many in the community.
I'm a physician myself, so I knew a lot about, what was going on with him medically, and it was a huge loss for me. It just kind of feels like the floor falls out of your world.
And even in his final moments, Matthew's still thinking of others. His dying wish to create a scholarship in his name for students at UAlbany, Matthew's alma mater, for those with a similar dedication to public service.
We talked about it a little bit in the few months that he was ill, sort of at the end, and just knowing that that was something that we could do to help make his legacy in Albany last, that was really important to all of us.
The City of Albany Common Council also showing their appreciation for Matthew, announcing a resolution to name a portion of Lancaster Street in his honor. All of it showing that while Matthew may be gone, his work and his memory will live on.
To meet somebody else who was in politics and actually walked the walk rather than just talk the talk, that was, you don't get that a lot of times. I wish there were more Matt Peters in the world. I would never say that to his face. But I wish there were more people who had that sense of service, and I hope that his memory can inspire more people to dedicate themselves to their community in that way.
Albany Mayor Kathy Sheehan releasing a statement about the loss of Matthew, saying in part, the City of Albany owes him a debt of gratitude for his invaluable contributions. Now, the scholarship has raised more than $30,000 in just the past few days since it was announced. For more information or ways to donate to the scholarship, visit this story at cbs6albany.com.
Monday morning, a little bit colder after the storm goes out, but not that cold, with temperatures into the mid-30s by the middle of next week.
All right.
Not too bad.
Any comments or no comments?
I'm just going to take it at this point. I'll take it.
All right, sports is coming up next. First, here's a look at what's ahead at 5:30.
More than 100 animals seized from a rescue a week ago. The warning being put out for those who adopted from the Colony business.
Plus, we continue to take a deep dive into Governor Hochul's proposed budget. Tonight, how it could impact schools.
Janae Bowens here in Washington with a look at what appears to be a restaurant boom. And I'll tell you how much you're paying to eat out.
On the big stage, guys.
Love to see that there.
Yeah, I like to see that. And that's he comes from a real basketball family, too. There's a lot of good players from that family, and he's keeping it up for them.
There we go.
Yep.
All right, AJ, thank you. Well, still to come tonight, a happy ending for some animals in the Capital Region.
Yeah, how a local college is helping out more than 20 dogs rescued from an abuse situation.
Plus, with cold and flu season well underway, doctors are issuing concerns why they say persistent coughing may be more alarming than it seems. First at 5:30, your top stories and weather headlines. Here's what you need to know.
Eleazar Williams, a man paralyzed after being shot by an Albany police officer back in 2018, now charged after a 14-year-old shot and killed himself with a gun, which Williams is accused of giving to that teen. It's not clear if the shooting was accidental.
Rensselaer County will require recent convicted drug sale offenders over the age of 16 to register on a list available to the public as a term of release.
Also, Glens Falls police say they've spoken with a person of interest now after a shooting yesterday. A man is said to be in stable condition after being shot last night. Police are not sharing any identities. In-depth coverage on all of these stories online. Just head to CBS6Albany.com. A new warning tonight from the Mohawk Hudson Humane Society following a situation in Colony we first warned you about a week ago. Yeah, more than 100 animals seized from a rescue after reports of animal cruelty there. Mohawk Hudson Humane Society says the rescued animals were tested by veterinarians who found numerous diseases that are transmissible to humans, as well as highly contagious viruses that can be given to other animals. Anyone who may have adopted or is fostering an animal from Empathy Rescue should isolate that pet from humans and other animals and seek veterinarian advice immediately. 16 dead pets were found in a freezer at that animal rescue. Police tell CBS 6 that Jennifer Ewell was arrested for charges of overdriving, torturing, and injuring animals in connection to the abuse found there at the rescue. Well, the best stories about rescue animals have a happy ending, and that appears to be the hope of the UAlbany athletics community. They're asking their own Great Dane family to support 22 rescued Great Danes found in a hoarding situation in Dutchess County. UAlbany teams and coaching staff are asking fans and supporters to help donate to the rescues that are caring for these dogs. The biggest need by far, dog food.
The head football coach, Greg Gattuso, has 2 Great Danes of his own. He says they're amazing animals. UAlbany adopted the Great Dane as its official mascot in 1965.
Well, continuing coverage tonight, Governor Hochul's proposed budget and the impact it will have on schools. We told you it's causing some outrage from districts and teaching groups who say needy districts will face harsh effects from a decrease in funding from the state.
Alora Lagarde reads in between the lines of the politics involved here.
And Governor Hochul knows.
A recall to warn you about if you've been treating a cough. You might want to check your medicine cabinet. Certain Robitussin cough syrups are being recalled for contamination. Its manufacturer says Robitussin Honey CF Max Day Adult and Robitussin Honey CF Max Adult bottles are affected. Those batches should be thrown out. There have been no reports of anyone getting sick from the cough syrup. And coughs are common this time of year, including the flu, COVID, RSV, and the common cold. But many doctors have noticed an increase in patients complaining of having a persistent cough this winter. Health experts say if a cough has been lingering for more than 8 weeks, it's time to go to the doctor and make sure there isn't something else going on besides a post-infection cough, such as asthma, COPD, acid reflux, another viral infection, a lung infection, or post-nasal drip.
We always say cough begets cough. So the more you cough, the more you're going to cough. And that cough reflex can become very hypersensitized. So things that shouldn't necessarily trigger a cough can start to.
Doctors say hot beverages, over-the-counter medications, and thick cough syrup can all provide some relief so that the coughing doesn't get worse.
Thanks, Lara. After the COVID-19 pandemic, where thousands of restaurants shut their doors, now many are seeing a boom.
We look into the surge and how much you'll be paying to eat out.
Also, a new bill could expand child tax credits by tens of billions, why some conservatives are not sold.
And this Saturday is International Holocaust Remembrance Day. The lost story of a Holocaust survivor ahead.
The restaurant industry appears to be recovering after thousands shut down due to the COVID-19 pandemic. In fact, there's actually a surge of new business.
Janae Bowens with the National Desk explains the reason for the boom now and what it means for your next night out.
When we opened, what was in our
A bipartisan group of lawmakers hammered out an $80 billion bill expanding child tax credits, but some conservatives are not on board. According to Political, the main debate involves concerns that the children of illegal immigrants in the U.S. will benefit. That's in addition to the hefty price tag. Kids born here are natural-born American citizens regardless of their parents' immigration status. Left-leaning Democrats are also not totally on board because it also includes large tax credits to businesses.
Which is, again, pretty close to average.
Looking forward to that sunshine.
Yeah, nothing wrong with average, right? Yeah.
Steve, thank you. Well, coming up at 6 tonight on CBS 6, saying goodbye to a longtime Albany public servant.
We'll tell you how Matthew Peters' legacy is going to live on.
And how will a registry of convicted drug dealers help cut back on spiking overdose deaths? The new tactic from Rensselaer County leaders. This Saturday is International Holocaust Remembrance Day, and tonight at 7 on CBS6Albany.com, we're presenting our national Sinclair series on anti-Semitism in America.
And one of the guests for this important discussion on Holocaust denial is Charlotte Plotsky, a Holocaust survivor who was a little girl when the Nazis invaded Belgium, a time she has never forgotten. Here is her story. Charlotte is one of the panelists in a special roundtable discussion looking at the issue of Holocaust denial and why, despite the film, pictures, documentation, and eyewitness accounts like Charlotte's, some choose to spread lies claiming this dark chapter of human history never happened.
Hate Rising, Holocaust Denial, streaming exclusively on our website, CBS6Albany.com, tonight at 7. Well, still to come tonight, all new at 6, audio recordings of 911 calls made the night Kaylin Gillis was murdered.
You'll hear some of Kevin Monahan's conversation with the dispatcher after he fired the shot that took Kaylin's life, so stay with us for that.